Oh, hello, and welcome to another episode of Something Something Chat Show. No, yeah, Something Something Chat Show. Tom Jr. Jackson presents a very goof live stream, episode 13. I'm sorry I am late. I took a little nap and almost missed the show. And for that, I profusely apologize on that level. I hope you are well. And as always, folks, please remember, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps us grow the channel and the community. And as always, folks, if you want to write a letter in to the channel, you can do it. You can do it all night long. Um, let's see here. If you can do it, if you want to send in a letter, send us a letter here at Something Something Chat Show with Tom Jr. Jackson. No, hold on. If you want to write a letter, send it to Tom's Something Something email 69 at proton.me. That's proton.me. And as always, folks, please remember to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like and the subscribe buttons and to subscribe to the Bird Network after the sequels. And as always, Positive Fandom, home of our very esteemed moderator, I am. But today I see we have our great moderator, Irene Jobson, in the chat room, which is great. And also, this episode is brought to you by um, Ray Little's Morning Disaster. Where else in the world can you watch a grown man get his gooch blasted in a how do I put this, in the garage? Ray Little's Morning Disaster. Check out morningdisaster.net to sign up for the Patreon, where you, for like just $5 you a month, you get all these different perks, and you get to watch the shows that are not just the free shows. And Ray's a pretty good guy. And always, please remember to check out Just Beds. That's right, Just Beds, where all your lamp needs will be served. And also check out Just Lamps. Well, all we have there are chairs. And now on with the show. Okay, so our first question of the day is this. The Tom Jr. Jackson, what do you think of the government and the UFO reveals? Well, here's what I think about those reveals. Is it odd that you only hear about these aliens landing in America and never in any other country? I've never heard anybody from another country say that they've been abducted and had their probes probed. But the thing that surprised me that Rob revealed last night was that Russia and America have an agreement that if aliens were to ever approach, we weren't going to shoot nukes at each other. Which brings up the question: aliens are approaching. Why do I want to blow up your country? I don't know where that comes from, folks. I don't. But I find the whole thing really interesting. Yeah, I mean, you missed it. It was a good show, though. I mean, Rob hit on some good topics. One of the topics it was about was the Exorcist Believer trailer, and Rob did not like it. And if you haven't seen the Exorcist Believer trailer, go check it out now. You know, well, not now, but go and check it out. It looks pretty good, but this time there were two children that are possessed. But it's just the trailer, so I really can't judge on the movie itself. I don't know if it'll be good or not. The trailer piqued my interest, as they say, and it makes me want to see the movie itself because I like those kind of movies. I think it'd be fun, and you know, it's Blumhouse. I mean, it's not gonna suck. I mean, it'll be fun. Yeah, about a dual possession. Another thing I've discovered, and I've been watching it on Prime Video, but it's on their free service called Freevee, and that is the show called Corner Gas. Has anybody here ever heard of the show Corner Gas? It's a show from Canada, and as we all know, the Canadians are evil. No, they're not. No, it's a very funny show, and it takes place in a fictitious town that's close to Saskatchewan or Saskatchewan, where it's all flat, and in the theme song lyrics for Corner you, the joke is you can tell me that your dog ran away, but it only took 3 days because it's so 3 weeks because it's so flat in Saskatchewan that literally all you see is the horizon. So yeah, I can't spell Saskatchewan. I'm not that smart, but the show is called Corner Gas, and it's a funny show. I've been watching it. I'm already on season 6, and it just looks like fun. But getting back to the alien thing, I find it interesting. I hmm, I would like to maybe see, I think maybe they, instead of just having someone come out and say, well, there's this, and this has happened, why not show some pictures, video, evidence, you know. But I understand why they don't do that stuff because yes, corner gas, because if they were to do um, show evidence and stuff, uh, people would freak out. They would. It's sort of like if the dead were to come back to life. Actually, no. Wait. If aliens were to come, would people freak out? No. They'd all have their phones out and they'd be like, look, Ma, I'm on the phone and there's a spaceship there and oh my God, and they'd be watching it. Someone's calling me and I'm not answering it because I don't know the number. So if your number is 561-542-5813, yes, I'm doing this. I don't know your number. I don't know who you are. You should have texted me first saying, hey, I'm going to call you. And it's probably just some And as always, folks, please remember my internet is brought to you by Frontier Cable. Frontier, where the internet sucks. Now back to the show. Tom, thank you. So yeah. Okay. See if that's like and subscribe button. Okay. So, sorry about that. Yes, the internet is sketchy. Which brings us to the next point of view. When did Instagram become like a dating site? Anyone? Apparently, Instagram is home to putting up your pictures and stuff. I get women that slide into my DMs. And some of them turn out to be escorts. And I say, no, thank you. There was one woman who I said, I'm sorry, I like to date someone and get to know them. And she literally said to me, you F them for free. You fork them for free. And I said, yes, because that's how dating works. Then you'll get these women who, after 10 minutes, decide that they love you. And then you'll get women who, after 5 minutes, will yell in all caps, can I be a woman? So, yeah, Irene DMs me all the time. And she sends me the dirtiest pictures of her dirty dishes. Such a turn on, really. But no, Irene and I DM each other all the time. We're like buddies. And as a matter of fact, not last night, but the night before, she and I were talking till almost 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. Like after Rob's show the other night, we just were talking. And she's great. She's a good friend. And we were DMing yesterday as well. And it's always nice to hear from her. She's a good friend. Yeah, we were up forever. Till Irene goes, if I fall asleep, please understand. I go, well, if I fall asleep, you understand. And I went, wait, why don't you go to sleep and I go to sleep? She went, okay. But but God knows I was up for the morning disaster. Which, by the way, if you haven't watched Morning Disaster on YouTube or Facebook, that's Ray Little's Lytle, Ray Lytle, Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. There you'll see everything from a grown man who doesn't know how to clean himself in the shower. We're talking about Ray's co-host Steve, who will take a shower and then put his dirty clothes back on. So we literally had a, I don't know, 20-minute conversation almost this morning about cleanliness. Cleanliness. My advice to you, if you do watch Ray Little's Morning Disaster, it is at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central Time on Facebook and YouTube. I would advise you not to eat while watching the show, because sometimes some of the things that Steve will say might make you want to lose your breakfast. But in all fairness, I should say that Steve is a wonderful guy, very funny. Ray is a great guy. Christina on there is great. Dan, Christina's Pat, always wonderful as well. Very funny. They're all very, very funny. They're 100% real on the show. Ray has been in the radio business for almost 40 years or something like that. He's a good guy, and I highly recommend, if you go over there, let them know that you heard about the show from me. And and Irene as well. Yes, it comes from Illinois, and yeah. I mean, where else you gonna see a grown man at a car dealership? I know, at an auto detailing plant or garage, I should say, getting a full blown gooch blast, a shower rubbed down with a brush or broom, and then have a leaf blower blown on them to dry them off. You never know what you're going to see on Ray Lytle's Morning Disaster. That's right. And that is also brought to you by Recon Tex, where not only can you get your car detailed, but your gooch as well. Recon Tex. So, so let's see. We had Comic-Con over the weekend. Cherry flavored soap. Yeah, let me get back to that for a minute. From watching that video, it sounded like Steve was moaning and enjoying it a little too much. But anyways, let's see. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to see The Haunted Mansion, which looks like fun. And from what I hear, it has a lot of... It's a lot better than the Eddie Murphy version. And sounds like it's a lot of fun as well. Let's see what else. Yes, it does look like the real ride, and that's what I'm hearing. At the theater in the next town called Mystic, Connecticut, which, if you don't know Mystic, you probably do if you've ever heard of the movie Mystic Pizza. Because the real Mystic Pizza is in Mystic, Connecticut. Wonderful place. They play Mystic Pizza on a loop in there. Anyways, at the Mystic Luxury Cinema, they are doing a double feature of Barbenheimer. That's right. They do Barbie and Oppenheimer. Had I known I could have done that, I would have done that last week and saw Barbie and Oppenheimer together. And some people are like, well, why would you see both those movies? What's the point? They're two different movies. Well, because Barbie is light and fun and really, you don't really have to think that much about it, but it's fun. And then you go and see the heaviness of Oppenheimer. But what I would do is see Oppenheimer first and then go see Barbie as a palate cleanser, because you're seeing something heavy. And then you go see something light like Barbie. So Oppenheimer would be your main course dinner, and Barbie would be your great dessert. I think that's how I would put it. Um, Oppenheimer is a great film. As a matter of fact, there are places on YouTube, channels on YouTube where people actually go to the Trinity, one of the Trinity sites where they did the tests. And if you go there on the ground, there's all this trinitite, which is the little mineral that was left from the radiation of the bomb and the oxygen. And there's a sign there that you cannot take any of these little rocks that are on the ground, these little trinitites, because they are government property and you will be arrested. And there's a big sign that says that. And it makes me wonder how many people try and take it. And I think the reason that they don't want you taking it is because the trinitite is still radioactive. So at one of the first bombing sites for the bomb that they did in Oppenheimer, it is still radioactive there, but not as much, like not like heavily like Chernobyl. But it's really cool to see that stuff. Last night I watched Vertigo, which, folks, if you haven't seen Hitchcock's Vertigo, it is a movie about, it's the ultimate movie about obsession. Okay? It's a movie about obsession, and it's great. But what's really great on the Blu-ray is William Friedkin, who did To Live and Die in L.A., Robert's favorite film. He does the commentary. And he does a great job explaining the movie, breaking it down for you, explaining all these little tidbits and stuff. It's just great. I love Vertigo, but I'm more of a North by Northwest man. I really like Cary Grant. I think Cary Grant is great in that, in North by Northwest. But Vertigo is Jimmy Stewart, and I do like Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart was in Harvey and It's a Wonderful Life, and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and Flight of the Phoenix as well. So there are some good films there. Like, I think if the studios are having a hard time dealing with putting things out, they should do a thing during the summer where they release classic movies and do double features. You know, I would say do The Post, and actually, if you want to do a triple feature, I would say do the Post, All the President's Men, and Mark Felt, the man who brought down the Nixon White House. Because The Post is about the Pentagon Papers, and that's the Washington Post. And then that movie ends with the Watergate break-ins. So you go from The Post to All the President's Men, which is about the Watergate break-in and the eventual ousting of Nixon. Which, by the way, when they were making that movie, Nixon had not been had not left the White House yet. So that is why at the very end you only see in the typing how Richard Nixon left the White House, because they didn't have that ending yet. And I think it was why they were editing it that happened, or something like that. So I would go with that. And then the third movie is called Mark Felt, the Man Who Brought Down the White House. And that's about Deep Throat himself. His name is a man named Mark Felt. He worked for the FBI, and he didn't like the way things were going with the Nixon White House, and he was leaking information to the papers. And Mark Felt is played by Liam Neeson. and it's great because there's a scene in it where he's being interrogated by a court, and he goes to the lawyer, are you saying I'm Deep Throat? I'm Deep Throat. And the guy goes, what did you say? He said, are you saying I'm Deep Throat? Because that's what you're assuming. And they never knew back then that he was. And it wasn't until, I want to say, 10, 15 years ago it came out. Because the man who, Mark Felt, had, I think, Alzheimer's or dementia. And they wanted to get it out now while they could. And yeah. It's a great film, though. But I would like to see studios do that. Put out films like that. Do Never Ending Story and Labyrinth or something like that. Or I want to say like your classic movies in general, or or do themed films or something like that. Because if you put these older films back out there is an audience that will go see it. And then there will be younger people who go, oh, what's this movie? And then they'll see it and they'll be like, oh, it's black and white. But then they'll get into it and they'll be like, oh, well, I mean, because younger kids have watched The Wizard of Oz, where the first half is all in black and white. So they can sit through a black and white film. So, yeah. Which, by the way, I think August 15th, the theater downtown here is doing Vertigo as well. And I'm going to try to go see that there on the big screen. Well, here's the thing. Ewoks Battle for Endor. I don't think that maybe Disney would release that. I don't know. Because that was a made-for-TV movie. And I'm amazed that you know that movie, Irene. I mean, I remember that movie. And again, I'm old enough to remember when they had a Droids cartoon, which was 3CPO and R2D2, and I think it took place either before Luke or before Star Wars or after Star Wars or something like that. I can't remember when it took place. And then there was an Ewoks cartoon as well. Because back in the 80s, everybody had a cartoon. And that's, and that's great because it's like I always say, Irene, not everyone is going to like what you like. So you like something that a lot of people kind of like but don't like. But I'm glad you like the Endor. Did I read the book too? No, I didn't. I remember I had the book for Ghostbusters as a kid. And it was this little book about that big. And it had little stickers in it. And I remember I got that from a book fair when I was a kid. So, yeah. Let's see here. So, yeah. There's that. Yeah, I believe there was a book for Battle for Endor. I could be wrong. Could be wrong about that. Yeah, so let me tell you, I took a little nap before the show, and that's why I was a bit late. So I come to sit down, and I go like this. I go and I put these glasses on, which I didn't really need to do because I already had glasses on my face. So we all know now that when you're half asleep, give yourself a moment to wake up. I was just a bit tired. Not tired, but because it's hot. We are in the process of having a heat wave. So it's going to be like in the 90s for the next few days. I really hope, we're supposed to get some rain at some point, and I hope it does happen. I'm up for rain any day, even if it's a thunderstorm. Let's see here. I'm cleaning my glasses because they are dirty as well. There we go. Yeah, so the weather here is let's see here. If I can find the weather here. Wow. Here's a little update for you folks. Barbie had made 23 million yesterday and heads for 300 million this weekend. Barbie is still going strong here, folks. Yeah, the Ewoks movie, I think you had to be young for that. It's 82 here, but the real feel, as they say, is 90. So it feels like 90. Also, yesterday, the trailer for Only Murders in the Building season 3 came out. Hello, Thomas Bartholdi. It is good to see you again. Yeah. So last week we ended up with, I think, 2. Did we end up with 2 episodes? I think last week of I think we ended up with 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds. But last week we had the highly anticipated crossover episode with Lower Decks, which I liked, and the character on there, Boiler, the character played by Jack Quaid, the one who ends up back in the past. His character kind of reminded me of Rob, and I'm going to tell you why. And if you watch the episode, you're going to go, "Oh my God, that's Rob." So the guy's like freaking out because it's Christopher Pike and all this stuff, and then he notices Spock smile. And when you see Spock smile in this episode, it's a bit creepy. It's a creepy looking smile, but hilarious. And you see the character of Boiler. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the Jack Quaid character. It's the guy with the purple hair on Lower Decks. And he goes, "That's not Spock. That was Spock is serious and emotionless. Why is he smiling? Why is he laughing? Why is he doing? And it sounds like Rob. What Rob would go? No, that's not how Spock's supposed to be. Spock's supposed to be this way. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Now they're just taking complaints that Rob has and putting it into their show, which I find hilarious. But a lot of people are noticing that they're pointing out the inaccuracies on the show that have to deal with the original series. And I love that TOS, when Mariner goes, why do you keep calling it TOS? He goes, those old scientists, which I found funny, Yeah, the musical track. I want to see that. It sounds interesting. You know what? It may look and sound stupid or silly, but it may be a great episode. You never know. And there's a reason for that happening, And I think all the cast members wanted that. As a matter of fact, all the cast on Strange New Worlds are fans of Lower Decks. And the cast of Lower Decks are fans of all the Star Trek shows as well, which is interesting. No, yeah, definitely. Which brings me again back to another point. I was going to write a letter to Rob, and I said, I'm just going to save it for my own show. And here's the thing. We have a movie like Oppenheimer out. It's an original film. It's not an IP. It's not based on. It's based on a real life, but it's not based on some intellectual property. And the other day, I see people going, well, Oppenheimer doesn't seem to be my thing, and it looks boring, and this and that. And I really wanted to comment on the post that I saw someone say that. And I really wanted to say, you are a part of these, you're people, you're like a part of this group of people who's always saying, we want something original. And when something original comes out, it looks boring. I don't want to see it. It's because there's no, it's not like there's action in it, but it's a very dialogue heavy film, but it's a great film. It's like two films in one. And yes, some people may be bored by it and some people might not. But like I always say, if you don't like something, that's fine. Just don't tell people that if you don't like a show or if you don't like a movie, don't tell them not to watch it. I mean, yes, that is your opinion that you don't like it, but telling someone not to watch something because you don't like it, that's selfish right there. And it's silly too, because you should always say, hey, I saw this movie, I didn't like it, but if you go see it, maybe you will. Or if you watch it, maybe you will. And you're giving someone the choice to make their own decision. Whereas nowadays, people are echo chambers. They really are. Well, I'm not watching Barbie because this, and this, and it's doing this to men. And blah, blah. Let me explain something to you, folks. Come closer. Here we go. About Barbie. All right. Barbie is about it's basically this. Yes, Barbie can be a congresswoman, she could be president, she could be a space commander, she can be a teacher, she can be whatever she wants. but ultimately she can also be a mom at home. And does it make men look goofy? From what I hear, it does. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay to do that, and I'll explain why. Because we make movies where women are the ditz or the slut or the dumb blonde, and you don't hear people complain about that. But yet, you make a guy look like a fool, and all hell breaks loose. Why? Why the one standard for this but not the other? You know. What about the perspective that some people are trying to help others by spoiling a movie they deem not worth watching? Okay, that is a good question right there, Hayden. That is an excellent question. Um, I think we live in a society now where you have to go the opening day to see a movie because by the time it's over, people are going to be on the internet. Oh, you got to see this because this, and this happens, and this doesn't happen, but this happens, and da, 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 and they'll spoil it. Why spoil it? Why do we live in a society where we spoil movies for people? I think that's silly and selfish and just plain stupid to do. I think, look, if, like I said, if you don't like a movie, fine. That's your opinion. But don't tell someone not to see it because you didn't like it. Because what you may not like, someone else will probably like. It's sort of like all these people are upset that Barbie has been making a lot of money, but they don't like the fact that it's about a certain thing. And they'll do anything they can to rip it off its high tracks or whatever. Um, my point is this: go see a movie, watch it yourself, make your own opinion, and you know whose own opinion you should choose? Your own. Look, I may say, hey, I like this movie or I like this show, you should watch it. Okay, that's fine. But my opinion is not the end all be all, Christ has risen answer. I would never tell someone not to see something. I mean, unless it was truly offensive, like it was a movie you really shouldn't see, and then I would do that. But, we live in this society where people like to spoil things in order to deprive people from making their own decision about seeing it. You know? Let's see here. What have we got here? So pretty soon we'll be getting Reacher season 2. I don't know when that's coming out, but that should be out soon. Right now on Thomas, since you brought up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Deadline Hollywood reviews Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, calling it the best Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie yet. And as I believe, Paramount just acquired the rights to the original 1980s cartoon of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's the one I grew up with. So yeah, that's great. Well, I see it. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Depends. Yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is coming out, I think, either this weekend or next week, sometime in August, I believe. Because now we're getting into the dog days of summer, which will be August, and kids will be going back to school soon. And yeah, it will be interesting to see. There's a rumor that the Marvels might be moving to 2024 or 2025 or something like that. Like a lot of studios are thinking about taking films and pushing them into next year or the year after because of the strike, which I wouldn't blame them for doing, if they were to do that. That's right. That's what it would be. If the studio is going to put out classic films and do a double feature, do Labyrinth and The Dark Crystal. Those two films alone would be great. And I've seen both of them on the big screen when they first came out the first time around. That's how old I am. This year, folks, I will be 49. 49 in December. I'll be old. So, yeah. Which, it's funny, though, because with Labyrinth, one of the names that they were kicking around to play the Goblin King that ultimately went to David Bowie was Keith Richards. Not Keith Richards, Mick Jagger. It was Mick Jagger they wanted at one point. They had like Mick Jagger, they had Sting. They had a whole list of who they wanted to play the Goblin King. Ultimately, it went to David Bowie. Yeah, I saw both in the cinema as well. And yes, the Jim Henson Company did do the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. They did the costumes for that. That was a Jim Henson production. As a matter of fact, Five Nights at Freddy's, the Jim Henson Company did the animatronics for it as well. Yes, I saw the first two Turtles films in the theater when I was in high school. It was one of the movie night things. Catherine Cook, who is a friend of the show, friend of the channel, she has her own show on the Burnett Network called Cat's Corner Live. She went yesterday and saw Hook. She went and saw Steven Spielberg's Hook on the big screen. And I told her when I was in high school, because I went to the school in Madison, Connecticut called Grove School. You can look it up under groveschool.org. So there's a plug for you. Groveschool.org. And they took a bunch of us on a Saturday night to go see, because it was movie night, to go see Hook. We saw Hook, enjoyed it. And as the movie ended, everybody was getting out, going to the cars. And it was crowded. Whereas, if you remember back in the, back then, people would go to the movies on a Saturday night and it'd be packed. And everybody got into the cars and they left me at the movie theater. And it wasn't until I got halfway down the road that someone went, "Hey, where's Tom?" They got back to the school. They're like, "Yeah, where's Tom?" And someone had to go all the way back to Old Saybrook, Connecticut to get me. Because they left me at the movie theater. And all I did was say, "Look, I need to use the bathroom." And the next thing I know, they were gone. So, yeah. Yeah, Hook is it's a fun movie. It really is. It's one of those movies that just becomes a classic. You know, I mean, the Wizard of Oz was not always the classic that it was. It did terrible when it came out, and then they put it on TV, and it just became this perennial classic that you could watch every year. And that is why it became so popular. So, yeah. Okay, folks. I just got this. So someone just wrote me. "Hello, dear. Please, I would like you to do something for me from your kind heart. Honey, I have been using the internet for the past 3 months now, and every month payment is $64. And at the moment, I don't have any money. We don't have anything in the house to get my internet bill paid. They will be disconnecting it in 2 days." Folks, I'm going to tell you this now. If I don't know you, I'm not sending you money. I'm going to put out a little thing here, folks. When you meet someone new, do you ask them for money? Do you know how awkward that is to ask someone for money? And no, Irene, I'm not going to do it. I would never do it. It's an awkward thing. You ask someone you don't know for money, and that person is blocked. They're getting blocked. So what we're going to do is, while we're on here, let's see here. Okay. And is this what I want? Is this what I want? Nope. Let's see here. Appointments? Nope. Yes, this is what I want here. Options. Report of scam or fraud. And you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Done. Reported, blocked, and deleted. RBD. Raymond Reddington, can I become a moderator? Okay, well, here. If you want to be a moderator, here's my here's what I had to say about that. To be a moderator, well, Irene, I pay you in nudes. I pay you in naked pictures every week, and now you want money? Come on, Irene. Um, and no, I'm gonna get back to you on that, Raymond. Asking Thomas says, asking someone for money on YouTube seems awkward to me. I'll say, yeah, but then again, you get someone like Rob going, well, join my channel or send in a tip. Well, oh, okay, Irene, because delete. Okay, I deleted the picture for you. You get someone like Rob who asks you to join the channel or something like that. Here's the thing: when you send in a super chat to someone, YouTube gets a big chunk of that, and I think Rob gets 30%. Oh, okay. Yeah, you see, those read the chick rants. Okay, now getting back to Raymond's question, can he be a moderator? Irene, you and I will have a little talk after the show if you want. Because, quid pro quo, I'm going to send you nudes. You got to send me nudes. Sorry. That's right, Irene. This is all an elaborate hoax for me to blackmail you for nudes. I'm kidding. I know. We'll talk after the show, Irene. Okay, if you can promise me, Raymond, that you won't go, power hungry and start blocking people left and right, yeah, you can become a moderator. And the only thing I say is be fair. To be a moderator on my channel, you have to be fair. Like if someone's being a problem, you tell them, look, I don't like what you're doing, and if you keep it up, I'm going to have to time you out. And if I have to time you out and you come back, you keep going, I'm going to have to boot you. So we'll give it a shot. I'm a trusting person, Raymond. So let's see here. Can I do that? I can't do that from here because I'm on StreamYard right now. I'll after the show, I'll look into it. I will send you all the spicy. No, Irene, don't send me all the spicy noodles. I can't handle too much spice, dear. Send Thomas spicy noodles. By the way, if you haven't watched Howie Mandel's YouTube show, Howie Mandel Does Stuff, chicken ramen is fine. Howie Mandel Does Stuff. His latest guest is a doctor named Dr. Mike, and he's like one of the most popular doctors on the internet. Watch this episode. This guy's the real doctor, and even he says, when given Omezoprec, I think it's called, Osmoprec or Mesoprec or something like that. Because what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to help you lose weight. Well, a Mesoprec is supposed to help you feel full and not eat a lot. And it is supposed to help you lose weight. But it was only tested for people who have high blood pressure, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, those things. And there are doctors out there who give it to people. Well, you want to lose some weight? Here, have this, But anyways, Howie Mandel does stuff. It's a funny YouTube interview show where Howie Mandel hosts with his daughter, Jacqueline. And they always do these, like how some shows have sponsors, so they'll do little commercials. They always do something where it's off, where maybe the camera is slightly off of Howie, but focusing more on his daughter. Or the camera will point up a bit more and you only see this much of Howie. And it's hilarious. The hilarious commercials that Howie does on there. But this Dr. Mike, it's a really interesting episode. And I highly recommend that one as well. And there's also a new show on YouTube, and it's called Full House Rewind. And it's hosted by Dave Coulier, who played Uncle Joey on Full House. And they just released the first episode last week. And every Friday there's a new episode. It's called Full House Rewind. And they discuss episodes of all 192 episodes of Full House. And it's really cool. They interview on the first, he interviews the creator of Full House, Jeff Franklin. And they talk about the first person to be hired on Full House was Jodie Sweetin. Yes, I grew up watching Full House. I remember when Full House first came on. They're at the point now where Full House is parents to their children. And I'd say within the next few years, those children will be showing it to their children. So it's now becoming a generational thing. And they're like blown away by it. Yeah, yes. Bob Saget died, but it wasn't due to COVID. Bob Saget died because I think like he hit his head. And I think he had a concussion or something like that, and he died from that. And here's the cool thing. The creator of Full House, because they were never allowed to use the outside of it's a real house in San Francisco. He ended up buying the house from Full House. So he owns that house. And I think you can go there now and have your picture taken outside in front of it now and stuff. But yeah, the creator of Full House now owns that house. I know Dave Coulier. I don't know him personally, but I remember Dave Coulier, and this is how old I am, from back in the early 80s on Nickelodeon. He had what you would call a talk show, but it was a very funny one. And it was called Cut It Out. No, it was called Out of Control. The show was called Out of Control. And it was like a talk show type show, but it was for kids. And it was very, very funny. And that's what I remember him from. And I wonder if he still gets people to this day who remember that show. And yes, the song You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette is written about Dave Coulier. Dave Coulier. And Dave was also the voice of Peter Venkman on The Real Ghostbusters. Well, he was the second voice of Peter Venkman. The first voice was Lorenzo Music, who was the voice of Garfield. And Bill Murray didn't like that. So they went and changed it. And they got Dave Coulier, who did a really good Bill Murray impression. And it's a fun fact about the Real Ghostbusters cartoon show is that one of the people to audition for it, for the role of Winston, was Ernie Hudson, the original guy who played Winston in the in the movie Ghostbusters. And they went, no, you're not what we're looking for. So here you have one of the original actors wanting to be in the cartoon, and they're like, no, you just don't fit the voice, dude. He's the guy who plays him in the movies. That would have been a big get for you, but they didn't. And then I remember in subsequent seasons they ended up adding Rick Moranis' Louis Tully to the show as well. I loved Real Ghostbusters. I remember watching it. And as a matter of fact, if you go on the Real Ghostbusters YouTube channel, you can watch episodes of the Real Ghostbusters. And I think every weekend they post an episode. So I don't know if they posted all the episodes yet. Irene Jobson says, ooh, I have boiled peanuts in the fridge. Irene? Interesting. Apples and peanut butter is good. I like apples and peanut butter. Yeah. You know, it's another Southern thing. It's taking peanuts and you put them into a bottle of Coca-Cola, like a glass bottle. Oh, the one with the monkey? Yeah. The one with the monkey wasn't bad. There was a show before Real Ghostbusters called Ghostbusters, but it was two guys and a monkey. And it was done by Filmation. And when they came to do the cartoon, they got the right to use the real Ghostbusters. Yeah. And if you go on YouTube, you can look up peanuts and Coca-Cola, and there's a whole thing on it. There's a woman on YouTube. Hold on here. What is her name? Because she's hilarious. And I want to give this woman a shout out. I really do. I really enjoy her videos. And if I am not, if at all, someone who likes to get people at their work, she has a channel called Tanera Double Chocolate Productions. That's, I'll write it down here. Her channel is called, let's see if I can spell it here. Tanera Double Chocolate Productions. So this channel here, Tanera Double Chocolate Productions, she does these little videos called Everybody's So Creative. And she shows these videos of people cooking God knows what with their food. and she makes fun of it, and it's hilarious. It's one of the best things ever out there. Yeah. Okay. This weekend, folks, the 30th, there will be a Let's Get Physical Media on the Burn Network. And let's see here. What do we have coming up tonight on YouTube? Yeah, I remember that series. Tonight at 6:15 p.m. on YouTube, on the Positive Fandom channel, join RM as she does a watch party for Fat Man and Little Boy. And if you have not seen Fat Man and Little Boy, it's a movie with John Cusack and Paul Newman. And this movie is about the creation of the atom bomb. It does have Oppenheimer in it as a character as well. But this is the first movie that was made about that. It's a pretty good movie. I just watched it the other day. When is that Let's Get Physical airing? Okay. Let's Get Physical airs on Sunday at 2 p.m. Well, not directly at 2, maybe 2:10, 2:15, something like that, around 2-ish, 2 o'clock-ish Eastern, 11 a.m.-ish Pacific. So yeah. Another great channel to check out is Barry Lewis. Barry Lewis is a cook, and he's great. Let's see here. What else do we have going on? So, Saturday night. Is it Saturday night? Let's see here. 2 days. Yeah, Saturday night, July 29th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, on Lorena Creole's channel. Join her for a watch party for 1992's Aladdin with Robin Williams. So she's doing that. And if you're into theme parks, check out the Tim Tracker as well. The Tim Tracker. The Tim Tracker. Great guy. Very nice. Great channel. The Tim Tracker. Hello, Darth Plato. Darth Plato, are you doing the watch party for Fat Man, Little Boy with RM tonight? Just wondering. And it's always, folks. Okay, just making sure. So join RM and Darth Plato on Positive Fandom for a watch party tonight at 6:15 p.m. Eastern, 3:15 p.m. Pacific time for Fat Man and Little Boy. And if you're looking where to find it, to watch it, I believe you can watch it on, I just saw it the other day too. And I can't remember where I watched it on. Tubi, I think. No, Pluto. Pluto TV. That's where I saw it. So you have to go into on Pluto TV. There's a on-demand thing, and it's all free. You go on there and you put it up there, and there are commercials for it. Yeah, but it's a good movie, and I like Pluto TV. Lots of good stuff on there. But as I was saying earlier, hold on here. Josh Plato. Yes, there's ads. On YouTube, there are people that go to visit the original Trinity site. And I just found it the other day. Let me see if I can find the channel. I'm going to put it up in the chat here. Yes, there's ads. And I think I just answered that before. Join me as I repeat myself 50,000 times. And I just want to remind you all, this segment is brought to you by Recon Tech. Recon Tech, if you want your car detailed or your gooch detailed, whichever you like, check out Recon Tech. Because they will do it for you. Let me see if I can find it here. This morning I was watching the full post-flight interview of it was the full post-flight press conference for Apollo 13. Like, it was the Apollo 13 astronauts, and they were discussing what happened during Apollo 13, what happened when they were up in space. And it's one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. Let's see here. Okay, view all. I like Apollo 13 as well. I've been rewatching From the Earth to the Moon. And I think I'm on that last episode, which is done by Tom Hanks, which is a great thing there. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Share. Copy link. Let's see here. And right now I'm coming into the chat now. Here I come. Let's see. Let's see. Check out how. Check out this video on the first Trinity bomb site. How much radiation is there? And this video here is really, really interesting. So here's the link. I'm putting it in the chat. So this link I just put in the chat is the guy who goes to the Trinity bomb site, and you can go there and visit it but you cannot pick up any of the rocks and take them home because they all have radiation, some form of radiation on them. But it's one of the coolest things because they go all around that site and they show you what happened to the tower that they were in when they tested the bomb out and stuff, like what happened to it when they were done with it. It's very, very interesting. It'll say it in the video. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find it. It's loading. How radioactive is the first atomic bomb site? And okay, the Trinity site is the place where the first atomic bomb was detonated 76 years ago. So this was done, I don't know when this was put up. But it's open twice a year to the public, and it's located on the White Sands Missile Range. Ground Zero is still radioactive. Trinitite, a radioactive mineral that was created when the first nuclear bomb was detonated, can be found easily all over the Ground Zero site. If you're looking for some uranium ore or antiques, yeah. But I highly, highly recommend this channel. It's called Radioactive Drew. So let's see here. I'm going to put him. Let's see here. Copy link. So if I'm coming back into the. Yeah, it's the White Sands Missile Range. Oh, yes, that's right, because I'm not. Okay, here we go. I'm coming back into the. Yeah, the New Mexico site still has some radiation there. And I'm amazed that they open it up twice a year, though. Let's see here. Come on up. Okay. Let's see here. Just a moment, folks. Check out and subscribe to Radioactive Drew's channel. Well, they have a big sign that says, do not pick up and take the tritium off the site because it is government property and they will arrest you. So yeah, it's interesting. It's a really good video. This guy goes there with a Geiger counter and everything. I think you might be interested in this stuff, Plato. And I gotta send this to, and I think I may have sent it to RM already, but it's one of those videos where you end up going somewhere that you've never been, and it's the real site, and they show you what happened to the tower where they were when the blast happened and stuff, and what they did to it afterwards, and they even show the building where they built the bomb as well. It's very, very interesting to watch. Very interesting. And I gotta comment on that guy's video saying, hey, I included a link to your video, to this video and your channel in my latest live stream. So I like to let people know that I've done that. And I have to do the same thing to Ray as well. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch videos like that. And folks, don't forget tomorrow night, Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on the Burnett Network. It's another episode of PGS Treks with Julian Mushkin and your favorite, my favorite, our favorite moderator and YouTube host, RM. Or as they say. So yeah. Well, folks, we're at an hour 25. I think that's pretty good for now. I think that's an hour and a half, kind of is good. As I said, tomorrow I'm going to see Haunted Mansion, and can't wait to see that. Maybe I might go see Barbie. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank my lovely, lovely assistant, Irene Jobson, as always, who I pay her in nude pictures of, well, my hand. So, folks, please join us again next time for another episode of a Very Goof live stream. And as always, folks, please remember, we are all goof people, and everyone you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. And if you don't want to listen to it, all you have to do is put your hands in your ears. No. By the way, folks, today is Elizabeth Gwendolyn Bell's birthday. So if you are friends with her on Facebook, send her a happy birthday message. Or if you're friends with her on Instagram, send her a birthday message. And tell her, yeah. Let's not get into Ben Shapiro. He's got a one-sided view of things. Anyways, folks, thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time. And remember, folks, Irene Jobson has a OnlyFans. Irene Jobson's Cat Butts on Parade. All chocolate cat starfish all the time. Check it out. We'll see you next time, folks. Bye-bye.